All right, we're gonna start with the tunnel vision because there's no way to start this that isn't gonna be a mess. So I think we'll just go. Let me grab this. Let me grab this. It's funny because I couldn't remember where I put the last one. There we go. I couldn't find it on this. Of course, I just grabbed the zombie train thing because it's a train screenshot. It counts. But hello, comrades, and welcome to another screenshot judging. A screenshot competition. We started one. We started this one what, a week and a half ago or so. When did I? Nope, that's the yes. So this was approximately a week ago. Um, Same scoring system as last time. This is the scoring system. Um, the prompt was poverty roads, so I'm really interested to see what we're gonna get. I know a couple of people spoiled their things to me a little bit, but I wasn't paying attention, so that works out. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna be the one judging as usual. Gloria isn't with me. I wanted their input, but unfortunately, um, that's they are at work. So there we go. Okay, we look like we're live. Okay, we have 9. We're already 23 minutes late. I don't want to lollygag too much, but I also don't remember how we did this last time. So you're going to just have to bear with me as I stumble my way through doing these. We're going to do the responses one by one. Um, I'm going to judge them on the criteria here: impact, creativity, construction, composition, content, story, world, relevancy, completeness, and the bonus. Um, there's a few things I like to give bonus points for. You guys probably know that. If the dog or the cat comes and bothers me while I'm doing your screenshot, you get a bonus point for that too, because it means that they like it. So in lieu of Gloria, we'll have the dog and the cat being alternate judges. I don't think they're going to be quite as interested, but you get what you get. Um, Anyway, yeah, let's do this. Let's get right along here. The first one is Weary Slugger, and now I remember the thing I needed to do was copy and paste the title, copy and paste who it's by, which this is Kaiser or Kaiserin, as we know them. So now I need to go find the screenshot, which is Weary Slugger. So this was put in correctly. I need to get my first impression. I like the Misty. I mean, it doesn't pop. Unfortunately, the thing with the the mist and the smoke and the fog, whatever it happens to be, uh, is that it tones down the contrast a lot. So you don't have a lot of that popping. I mean, the red and the green are about as poppy as you're going to get, in the yellow stripe on the locomotive. But it almost blends into the building. I don't know. I do like it though. I've never really shared much of an affinity for British stock, but I do like their coaches, and I do like their double-ended diesels. I couldn't tell you what they are, but I think they're kind of neat. I'm glad they're over there and not over here, but I still think they're kind of neat. So Weary Slugger, this is pretty cool. I mean, we there's a lot of sky is the other thing, and I don't, I'm not gonna say what's intentional and what's not per se. I don't want to start picking apart a screenshot like that, but it does make it feel low. It makes it feel like there is this sort of weight on it. It's being pushed into the bottom of the frame. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's actually kind of neat. Um, Funny thing about trains, though, it is clear to me that this is stopped. You know, maybe it is moving, and I'm just being bamboozled. But the smoke is spreading out like this, and not like like this. Uh, you can only do so much in a train screenshot. I definitely won't hold that against you. Trying to snap it as the thing comes by, uh, that's an Iron Horseman production kind of problem that we always like to try to avoid. So let me put this over here, and I'll put this back over here so that we can get our let's hide out the locomotive is. Um, okay, so it is a class 55. I was gonna guess a 59, but again, I don't know what they are, so it would have just been straight up me guessing. All right, let's copy this. Let's see if we can drop it in here. Um, and let's talk about impact. Impact is the first one. It's how it hits me. again, because of the sort of muted tone of the whole thing, I'm not inclined to give it a ton of points for impact, but the sky is just so big. So I'm going to give it a 7. Um, Now we have to, before we go any further, we have to read the blurb, um, and probably the production notes. So let's just make sure that I'm putting these in the right place. On a cold and dreary morning in late November 1980, a weary Class 55 Deltic slugs its heavy passenger train out of the station. Google's trying to help you there. It is with the thing. If it's not, it is. Get rid of the apostrophe. Passenger train out of the station. As it picks up speed, smoke billows from its exhausts, and rust flakes off its sides from the vibrations. But the Deltic, it struggles on. I need "but the Deltic, it struggles on" on like a, like a plaque or something. Uh, just because, like, you know what it needs. This needs to be one of the like motivational posters. But the Deltic, it struggles on. I'll hang that up in my cubicle. Um, but yeah, okay, bringing out the British stuff, bringing out this weary industrial backdrop. Um, there's not a ton here, but it does a good job with what is here. Um, so we need to talk about creativity and construction and composition. So creativity is very straightforward. Construction is the building of the scene, and then composition is the framing of the photograph. Um, Now, let's see. Creativity. Bringing out the coaches, bringing out the British stuff. I mean, I don't expect anything less from Kaiserin, but it is not typically what people think of when they think of poverty roads. Certainly, it's not what comes to my mind. So, I actually feel like I should rate this one fairly highly because again, it's just, you know, it seems creative to me anyway. I don't feel like we're going to have very many submissions on this theme, and I don't tend to rate submissions against other ones, but I do think the British angle is something that can be brought out, or something that isn't brought up often. And I already feel like I know what I want to give it, although I feel like the passage here could be a little bit more drawn out. Kaiser, and I know you can write, you know. Um, I feel like I could get into the shoes of this situation a little bit more with the passage here, but alas, the Deltic, it struggles on. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be generous. I'll give it an 8. For construction, now this is a again, there's not a lot here. I feel like it does a lot with what it has, but there still isn't a lot. You could have included some junk in the foreground or things like that. I know you submitted this one like immediately, so I feel like you could have spent more time with the little fiddly bits, just added more to this picture. Um, and honestly, I feel like if maybe this is a composition thing, but if you had another building that did this, so that you didn't have the roof line matched with the roof line of the locomotive, it would feel a little less weird, or at least it would feel a little bit more oppressed. It might not be a bad thing, or it might be a standout thing here. But I feel like I've seen this building before. This building with the blue doors is just such a trains building. Uh, but yeah, I mean this feels properly depressing. But construction, I think. I mean, it's not bad. Again, there's just not a lot of it. I think I'm gonna have to give it a 6. Composition though. Composition I like a lot, and I feel like I've talked about it a ton already. So maybe I can just give it an 8 and call it a day. Um, you know, it has that oppressive feeling where the train is at the bottom of the frame. It has the smoke effect, fog effect, whatever you want to call it, uh, that that reduces the contrast on everything and makes everything feel kind of muted and depressed. It works. Um, Content. I don't have anything bad to say about this content. Um, the only thing I can think of is if I'm really... I didn't see that. I didn't see any of those. I didn't see that. Is if we... Can I... Yes, I can control click around. if we look at this track, I feel like that track is very old, but I know, I don't try to discriminate on basis of, this isn't two of the same building next to one another. I thought it was for a little while. Um, I don't know. I don't usually knock off for content unless it's really bad content. Uh, I think there's kind of no reason for me not to give it at least a 9, and I think I'll just leave it there. I don't feel the need to nitpick it further. Oops, 9. Okay, the story. Aside from but the Delta gets struggles on, I feel like there's a lot more that you could have done here. Uh, it's not bad. It's just not much. Aside from the it is thing, which yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to knock off some points for that. But I still like it. Again, it's a fitting little uh it's a fitting little. You know what? I didn't look at the production notes. Uh, hold on. Let's get the production notes out here. Let's see if this changes my mind on anything. This is a bit of a hard one. Poverty road leads a lot to the imagination. I decided to go with the biggest poverty road in Europe, excluding Eastern Europe, that being British Railways. All assets models are freeware from the DLS. For all freeware from the DLS, that's really good, actually. I definitely don't feel bad about that 9 from content now. I'm tempted to give it a 10. Because, I mean, freeware from the DLS, yeah, I'll give it the 10. And then I'll give it the 5 for the story. World. Feels a little empty, feels a little, fine. The only thing is that the coaches look too nice. That's my problem with it. Everything looks appropriately dreary, but if it weren't for the fog effect, those crimson coaches would be lighting up. So, I'll give it an 8 for World, and we'll just move on. Relevancy, BR, honestly, yeah, Poverty Road. I can agree with it. I'm just gonna call it a 10. Completeness. Alright, let's look at the submission form. Weary Slugger, this is filled out, this is filled out, this is filled out, this is filled out, that's filled out. Yeah. 10. Bonus. No pups. I'll give a bonus for the Deltic because I think it's cool. I'll give it a bonus for the really big sky because I also think that's cool, and the fog effect. I'll lump those into one. I just feel like it deserves an extra point for that. So, that's all I can really think about. Nothing else really jumps to me. But I do like this shot. I appreciate you submitting it. Calculator. Let's do some math. Let's see. Is anything? Everything for target notes. Yeah, potato PC. Yeah, I know. I got you the production notes. I'm sorry, I can't see this. I've only got the one screen. You guys are seeing all that I'm seeing. The 74. I think this did pretty well. I'm sorry you have a potato PC. I'll be honest though, you can do a lot when you're taking a still shot. I feel like you could do more when you're taking a still shot. I mean, I know you know the capabilities of your computer. The Deltic it struggles on is the bonus. I know you know your computer better than I ever will. I just feel like you could have junked it up a little more. But either way, good screenshot. Thank you for your submission. And, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on each one, so we're just going to hop to the next one. I'm going to delete this response. Next one. Let's close this out. Hey, does anyone want to play Not Tetris? Next one. Once Was New, which is a nice title. It's a cool title. Once Was New by Marine Trooper. Alright, Marine Trooper, you're up. There looked like a lot of text. There's a lot of text down there. Okay, well, let's look at the screenshot first. Once Was New by Marine Trooper. Oh, this is the one that I just clicked onto. I think they're in order. Oh, wow. This. I'm just gonna try not to look at the faces too much, because One is too good and the other one is too bad. I like this. I can see the stuff in the mud bank, and there's a boat over there, and there's, I think, a boxcar. There's one that's like totally in the ground. Is this a boxcar or a bunker? And this guy's still going along. It's funny because it made me think, this is narrow gauge, isn't it? I think it's narrow gauge. There's a lot of stuff in this that pops. And you look at this and you go, wow, what a pretty photo. Oh, look at all the wrecked stuff. Holy crap. Also, that's a wrecked camelback, isn't it? +1 bonus points for a wrecked camelback. Gotta remember that for later. I assume this is bridge fall down. Bridge fall down does not tend to look like this, but I appreciate the effort. Alright, yeah, this has got some pop to it. I don't know what to give this for standout. You put in 72 and I should have put in 74. Oh, sorry, my bad. 74. Thank you for that correction. One face is a portal to heck. Yeah, no, yeah. Alright, let's copy this and drop it into the document so that... There's a link to this document in the description, by the way, so if you're curious about any of the previous submissions from any other screenshot competition, they're all in here. In a relatively smaller thing. But, impact. Again, there's so much stuff here that pops. I want to give it an 8, but I actually feel like I should give it more than that, because again with the comparison, I wonder how many things will be this outwardly not depressing. You know, poverty roads. Poverty roads. This doesn't really scream poverty to me, it screams there was a train wreck over there. So, I might have to not give it 10 for prompt, but to make up for that, I am going to give it 9 for impact, because it's a very colorful shot. Very pretty. I might still be giving it too much for impact, but here we are. What if Jog jumps into my lap? Live Camelback hate crimes. So I should actually probably put this over here. Yeah, I'll put it over there so that I can look at this and look at this at the same time. Let's look at the other bits before we carry on. Oh boy, this is a lot of text, and I hope it makes me feel better about this being poverty related. Because you always want to feel better about poverty. Oh, oh man, the formatting broke. Let me fix the formatting. I would otherwise be deducting points for it, but I don't want to do that because it's not Marine Trooper's fault. Lots of D's. I think it's dad and boy. Why not D and S? Well, she was born one morning. Tresol Bridge. Let's see. God, this is a lot of text. Should put a limit on text. Kaiserin had too little. Marine Trooper has too much. We'll see, though. Okay. Papa? Yes? How come that train looks older than the one in the city? Well, that is good question. But there is a story that my father told me about it. Would you like to hear it? Yes, please. Okay. Well, it started in 50 years ago, when Dad was working with the big railroad. There was smaller railroad that came to town from the hills bring wood and coal for the big railroad. The small railroad were growing and becoming more up to date. Even having more modern trains than the big railroad. But that changed when the storm of 19 came. You see the trestle and the black thing in the mud behind you? Turns to his right. Yeah, I see that. What is that in the mud? That was number 13. It was crossing that trestle when the wind and the waves from the storm took it and its train off the trestle. What happened to the trestle bridge? That was torn down from the flood that came through right after number 13's incident. Because of that, it cut off the small railroad from the big railroad. They tried to rebuild the track many times, but every time they finished, a new flood came through and washed it away. So by their fifth try, they decided to go and connect with another railroad. By that point, the whole country was in a Great Depression and no one had the spare money for anything, including the railroads. At that point, the railroad was worn out, and their new equipment being out of date and in need of replacement. But they did not have the money for any, and the money they did get was used on the people who worked the railroad. That is how it stayed from then to now. It's a surprise they are still around using the same equipment from all those years ago. Wow, that was a long story, Papa. Damn right, kid. Why was there so many floods after the train accident? No one really knows. Some think it was a freak occurrences, but others think it was number 13 haunting the waters here and preventing its railroad from healing from the storm that took its life. Okay. But that is most of it. Here, we should get going. Your mother would not be happy if we are both late. Okay, Papa. Okay. Okay. That was quite something. I do appreciate the thorough explanation of the situation. I was rather stumped for thinking of an idea of what I should make. Should it be historical and based on a real place/time, or should it be complete fiction? But I ended up going with a semi-historical fiction idea, and the events in the story didn't happen, from what I'm aware of, in real life, but still used the Central Pacific equipment for the train and its consist on the trestle, and used the rusty and weathered K&L Reading 1187 for number 13. Not a poor thing. Got what's coming to it. I was originally going to include a line about the view of a mountain from the river that would be in view of the center of the river, but I changed the position of the shot to be much closer to shore, so number 13. The train crossing the left trestle, and the old trestle would be much closer to the camera. The whole route was custom made using a repurposed blank test route that had 4 base plates set to 204 height. Okay, well, I appreciate the detailed explanation. There's certainly a lot of creativity that got poured into this. I can't deny that. A lot of different things, a lot of fiddly bits. I don't know if even... Is the bucket part of the boat, or is this another asset that... No, I mean, it's got 2 shadows. That's interesting. That is... It has 2 shadows. Are these part of the same asset? There's no way that this guy and this guy are part of the boat asset. So Marine Trooper painstakingly placed 2 people in this boat. Or at least 1 person. That's pretty serious. So... Alright, I don't want to get too carried away with each screenshot. We've only got so long to do this. Creativity. Creativity. There's a lot to go on here. I'm gonna give it a 9 at a minimum. I'm gonna give it a 9. I don't feel bad about that at all. Construction. Well, the textures could be a little less plain. The whole deal with this back here, the fact that it's just like brown. I mean, you did get the foliage on the shore there. Could have come down in here. I don't know. There's really not much I can say bad about this. I'm gonna end up giving everything a ton of points this time around. Yeah, I'm gonna, because of the fine detail that had to, like, I don't like, at least one of these things had to be placed. It was probably the kid, right? Does anyone know this asset? Is this like a yeah, the guy on the left probably came with the boat. I agree with that. The kid on the right probably didn't. I don't know. I'm gonna give it an 8. There's some things here that really blow my mind, but there's some other things here where it's it just seems fairly simple. There are some empty bits. Um, I don't know, junk it up. It's very good though. Composition. Okay, the composition of this I like in theory, but there's an issue, which is you're looking, your eyes are going in three different places. It doesn't really draw your vision anywhere. I mean, you come in, you see the train on the bridge, you go, okay. You see these guys in the foreground, and then maybe you notice this stuff back here. The having a bad time part is not front and center. The dad and the kid are, which is great if it was about a dad and a kid, but it's not. It's supposed to be about poverty. Um, and also, I feel like there are things that are in the story that give me more questions than answers. Um, just about like, what does the big city railroad have? What year is it? You know, um, the 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 060 doesn't really seem clapped out at all. Uh, I don't know. It's just there's an amalgamation of things here that aren't jiving for some reason. I know we're supposed to be talking about composition here, but it's the composition that doesn't draw my eyes to the right places. It the photo is trying to tell me a different story than what I expect to see from the text. So, and also, things seem so bright and cheerful. It doesn't scream poverty to me. It's not a bad thing, but I don't know. I'll give it a 7 because there was a lot of work put into getting the camera right here. And the locomotive's moving. So, had to be timed right too. Content. One of these two is cursed. At least one of these two is cursed. It has to be. Um, Other than that, I don't know. I might have tried to do a different bridge in terms of content. You only have the one bridge. Um, and yeah, putting the really cursed looking guy front and center is a real choice. I'm gonna have to give it a 7 for content. Story. Okay, a lot of work went into the story. It's a little clumsy in places. The the grammar isn't perfect. Um, there is a lot of it, and I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. It does help explain some of the things that I'm seeing in the photo, which is important, but it shouldn't have to do that, really. Um, and yeah, where are the bridges going? We'll talk about that when I get to World. Um, yeah, I'm gonna. What did I give Kaiser in the story? I gave Kaiser in a 5. I know I don't want to compare things, but I'm trying to remain sort of internally consistent. Um, yeah, you know what? I'm also just gonna give it a 5. It it needs work, uh, but it's still very clever. It's very creative, certainly. Um, World. Why is the old bridge still there? Why is only the back end of it knocked down? Why didn't they just try to rebuild that part? Um, where are they taking the boiler? This does not this is not a consist that screams to me like the loaded stuff. Said it was for coal. Where's the coal? Um, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. I don't know what year it is. Uh, I don't know. And also, this kind of wooden trestle. Well, I guess it's not wrong to have it across a body of water like this, but it wouldn't last very long. And the story doesn't sell me the idea that the bridge kept getting knocked down, especially because only part of the bridge is knocked down. So I don't. Yeah, and they're going different directions. Uh, there are some things about this world that just don't click to me, and You did try to build something, which I think is very nice, and I'm going to give you a 6 for it, but that's being generous, I think. Relevancy. Okay, the railroad is in poverty. The picture doesn't really sell me on that, but the railroad is in poverty. I guess. I'm going to give you an 8. Completeness. Also, I would have thought, just an idea, right? Just an idea. If you were to have a more modern engine instead of this piece of garbage, and then in the mud with the train on the bridge in the background and then the boat closer to it on the foreground, so that you can see, you can have these, these two sitting in front of the wreck, the indicator of poverty, and then the second indicator of poverty, which is the worn out, clapped out train on the bridge right behind it. Uh, I mean, yes, the railroad's having a bad time. Just again, the picture doesn't sell me as much as it could. It's mostly about the framing. I feel like I did I did some generous things here, but it is still it's a very nice picture on its own. It's very creative, the picture, the story. Right, completeness. I'm getting so distracted. We're taking so long to do this. Completeness, that's in. Yes. I think completeness gets a 10. Bonus point. No animals. Camelback in the mud gets a bonus point. The framing of this, the length of the story, like the detail that was put into the story here, I think those are deserving of points, even if it doesn't necessarily come through. So, 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 3. 71. Okay. I'm going to do that again really quick. 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10. No, well, now I need to do it a third time. 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 72. It's interesting to see these two photos back to back. This one where it's very flashy and most of the points come from the shot itself, and this one where most of the points come from sort of the vibes. Anyway, proof that you can, proof that it doesn't matter what version of trains you're using, I suppose, in the end. Alright, number 3. Let's get a move on here. Number 3. Let's see. Next up. Oh, right, did I delete that one? Oh, no, wrong thing. Delete. Sorry, blanked for a second there. Next up. Fire! Uh-oh, what is this going to be? Is this fire as in there is a fire, or fire as in something is on fire? As in fire! Call the fire department. Fire by... I really should reorganize these for the arrangement. Uh-oh, it's Matt. Oh, Matt and fire is a bad combination. This is going to be fun. Fire. I'm ready. Oh. Wow. Wow. The lights in the cars, the light of the locomotive, the sky, and the fire. Also, what are these switch stands? What is going on out here? Matt! What are these pieces of track in the middle of all the tree stumps? Also, is that... What is that? I don't know what locomotive that is. Fire. Wow. If only it was a little less dark. I wish the fire was brighter, You know, because it took me a while to figure out where the fire was. Um, this is pretty as hell. Also, I like these stump icons. Or these stump. These aren't the ones that I use because I'm not used to the little thing. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, let's copy this in. Like, first instinct was to give it a 10, but it's tough to spot the fire. It doesn't, like, it's just like, oh, locomotive going out over area. Hold on, wait a minute. I am going to give it a 9, because it did make me say, wow. But, you know. Now, interestingly enough, this is a twist on the prompt like we haven't seen so far. Because the prompt is poverty roads and then railroads having a bad time. Fire is definitely a bad time. I'll give it that. This stands on its own, at least, to me, as you can see the railroad is having a bad time. Alright, let's get the rest of this stuff in, though. So, let's go through this, because this looks like it's going to be very helpful to furthering the plot, so to speak. When a poor logging railroad's main source of revenue begins going up in smoke, as it so often does, the company and the valley it serves act quickly to save what they can. Even a small, smoldering fire such as the one pictured here is large cause for concern. When a train traveling with 2 L's, that's the British spelling, it's okay, I sometimes do that, downhill sees a fire, it would turn from a local into an express, or at least as much of an express as the old Lima-built No. 3 Shay could have made it. It was a Shay. I had a feeling it was a geared locomotive. Rolling downhill to Ligonier, the train would let off staccato blasts of the whistle, alerting the entire valley of the emergency and letting the yard crew at Ligonier know to start rounding up flatbeds with whatever locomotive was ready, often number 395, and use those flatbeds as makeshift passenger coasters for the townfolk to climb aboard. That's a long sentence, Matt. While older wives and less abled would make care packages of food and first aid, the able-bodied would prepare for a long night. They would take off wielding whatever tools they could find. Axes, pickaxes, shovels, hoes, rakes, and the like were quickly turned from mild-mannered gardening implements into firefighting tools. Carrying these tools and kerosene mining lanterns, the people gathered aboard the splintered decks of the flat cars. The lanterns shone in an ironically festive way, lighting up the serious faces of the people with dancing flame. Soon the train would take off, only slowing down for rural folks to join the brigade. Once to the scene of the blaze, the train would let people off before taking off down the other side of the hill to gather relief workers from Somerset, the other major town the little road served. The people of the Ligonier Valley and Laurel Highlands have a lot to protect in their little railroad, as it supplies much of the valley's income and livelihood. When a place is someone's life, those people protect it with their lives. Through the diminutive railroad's entire 17-year history, I cannot answer that, there was never a major out-of-control burn, due to the communities surrounding and supporting the railroad. Our fire was under control by next morning. Hold, please. Just need to... That was Gloria, I just need to ask if everything's alright. That was a lot of text. Okay. That was a lot of text. Okay. I don't think... Let me catch my breath now. I don't think anyone would fault me for giving this, like... was so wondering those tracks wouldn't show up. Are they supposed to be the lanterns? Just use the damn invisible track. There are like 5 kinds of invisible track. I'm gonna give it a 10 for creativity because that was a lot. That was a lot. Let me go through the production notes so that there's anything I don't know. So there's nothing I don't know. This screenshot was taken on my ongoing route project, Laurel Highlands, 1908, near the location of Laurel Summit, Pennsylvania, a place where fire most likely happened sometime between 1905 and 1910, judged by geographical clues. That is another long sentence. The pinpoints of light representing the lanterns are in fact small stretches of track with switchpoint assets. I could tell. The story of this screenshot is detailed extensively in a work called Story of a Mountain Railroad by J.F. Langsdale on page 29. I must admit I am quite disappointed. Despite finagling assets and trying different techniques, I could not manage to get the right look of the glowing fire asset against the backdrop. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I mean, I could. I used a bunch of fire assets not unlike this for one episode of the Iron Horsemen Chronicles, if I remember correctly. Um, and yeah, it's they chug. They eat up your graphics real hard. Apparently, there's fire trucks, ambulance, and police down at Stop and Shop where Gloria is working, so that's interesting. Um, okay, yeah, I'm giving it a 10 for that. Construction. This is a really well constructed screenshot, except you put stretches of visible track down. Also, the stumps are a little close together. Like, a little close together. I mean, maybe if you chop down one of the forests on Tolbrand, it would look like this, but I don't know about a real forest. Especially these guys. They're, like, inside one another. So, it's so good. It's so good. But there are just those things that make me go, like, this doesn't make sense. You know? Um, Also, they have the lanterns here, which makes me confused about the timing of the screenshot. Because I thought this was the train, like the train going through. I thought this was this moment, but it's like the end. It's like in here, you know. Um, the screen was dirty and I couldn't see the track. Clean your screen, Matt. Um, Although I like this ballastless track. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna give it a 9 for or an 8 for construction. I think it's very good. Um, Composition, really solid. Your train is framed up front and center. The smoke is, spread out across this distance. The only thing. No, I mean, honestly, this perspective isn't that bad. I was going to say this perspective feels kind of weird. It makes it feel a little bit, you know, less real. But it's still a relatively low angle. The only thing I might have done, this is maybe a construction thing, this sky is very, very pretty. However, when you've got a fire going, I would expect it to be a little cloudier, a little hazier. You know, you wouldn't be able to see stars. You wouldn't be able to see this beautiful purplish reflection that was maybe like the first thing I noticed. Um, when I was doing stuff for that episode, which again, whose name escapes me, it's people, you lovely people who love the Iron Horseman Chronicles probably know exactly what episode I'm talking about. Um, the Heroes of Milford. Uh, as the episode went on, I made the clouds thicker and thicker to sort of simulate the smoke closing in. Anyway, composition, yeah, I'm going to give it a 9. It's pretty solid. Content. I mean, these stumps are really nice. These textures are all really nice. I know this asset so well. And I don't know if there's one better. So I can't dock you for that for sure. Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't see anything wrong with the content here. This is a good screenshot. Um, Story. Uh-oh, Ryan's here. Story. Great story. I feel like you could have trimmed it down a little bit. It is there are basically no issues with spelling, grammar, anything like that. You even get to do a couple of neat turn of phrases: small, smoldering fire, large cause for concern. I like that. It tickles me. Um, it just it's really long, and there's a couple of issues with sentence length. So I'm gonna give you, I think I'm gonna give you an 8, which seems like a lot because of just how long it is. Yeah, I feel like you could have cut down. Well, you're getting a high score out of this. It's a good screenshot. Um, yeah, yeah, 8, 7, 7, 7 makes me happier. World. Well, yes. This is a, this is honestly, yeah, pretty solid. Um, the things that I mentioned with construction still apply. Um, the I am confused because you mentioned number 395 and then you mentioned Shay number 3. So why is 395 the one fighting the fire here, or is this Shay number 3? That looks like a Shay to me, and it's only one number on the back end. So where is 395? I am confused. Um so yeah. Also, is this really the arrangement they're gonna Norfolk Southern it next time they go around a curve? But yeah, I mean, I think the world is pretty solid. The trees are still standing back there and not on fire, which that's something, but you can't really do much about that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 for world. I'm definitely gonna give it an 8 for world. Um, relevancy. Railroad having a hard time. I believe it. You know, you've sold me. Completeness. This is the easiest 10 anyone should ever get. Completeness 10. Bonus. There's a dog over there, but he's not bothering me. He's a very small bagel. So, I can't give you the dog point, unfortunately. But that's number 3. 395 is the Ligonier Yard locomotive. All right, well, you got me confused. Start rounding up flatbeds with whatever locomotive's ready. Listen, I don't care what 395 is. There's no way it's not fat. It's not. There's no way it's slower than this Shay getting back out here with this train of cars. Why would you send the Shay back out? Um. But no, I'll give you a point because this is super cool. Um. And that it, whatever. And that it is based on this real arrangement. And I'll definitely give it an extra point for like. I definitely am giving you an extra point for the creativity here with the lanterns in the thing, which I've already docked you like a total of 4 points for. The smoke effect that I know very familiar. 395 was a 2-truck Shay. Oh. Okay, well, you've still confused me. Well, I'm glad you've explained that, but you've still confused me. Um, they don't have anything faster? I believe it. Um, yeah, and another one. Again, I feel like you get a point for the fantastic story, a point for this being your super cool route that you're working on, a point for the lanterns and things, and maybe a point for the purple sky, because that's really, really cool looking. Um, Not quite as cool as that time that Weibold made a sky asset so that he didn't have to edit the photo, but that's something that's like a gold standard for sky, uh, like extra work. Um, all right, 9 plus 10 is 21 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. It's like the one time where you could have included more detail would have made me less confused. Just a note about how only 3 could make it back out here, despite being a Shay. It was still the fastest locomotive on the system. Um, just, it's one of those things. You go through a couple times, you refine, you edit. Either way, 305 was a smaller Shay. Yeah, okay. I get it. I believe you. I'm sorry I doubted you. Um, set the speed record 17 miles an hour. Well, that's what it should have done. That's what you should have done. All right, next up. 85 points. Thank you for your submission. I didn't thank Marine Trooper for his submission as well, so thank you very much. Um, honestly, I think 85 points is you getting robbed because that's a beautiful screenshot. Speed Demon. Next up. Don't let your dreams be jeers. I don't know if I want to know what the hell that means. What is it? What is that? What is this? Who is this? I'm going to make a mental guess of whose screenshot this is, and then I'm going to go look. I knew it. I knew it was going to be... Don't let your dreams be jeers. There was no way that wasn't a title that Milky wrote. Okay, let's go look at that one. After I take another drink of water because my throat's getting so real bad. Oh, come on, Milky. You didn't title your screenshot? Okay. Look at that. I mean, it definitely pops. A bloody nose Jeep. Also, every asset in this image is incredibly good except for two. This one, which is in front of my face, and that one, because I know what warehouse asset that is. We should all know that asset has been around for a really, really long time. The thing is, the really nice assets make the really bad assets look even worse by comparison. Hold on, let me just take care of that. Everything should be good. So, oh, I had dyslexia for a second. I thought this was 3985, and I went, oh my god, it's 3985, but it's a Jeep. This thing pops. This is so not depressing looking. Where I should be depressed. Come on, get with the program. I am depressed, but you know this isn't making it worse, which is a problem. No, this is, again, this thing is jumping off the screen at me, which is a good thing. Let's start writing stuff down. So let's get everybody else's first impressions. I think that asset is in trains too, yeah. Don't let your dreams be cheers. Is it supposed to be Jeeps? I feel like it should have been Jeeps. But R is nowhere near P on the keyboard. So I don't know what happened here. Maybe there's an explanation somewhere. But impact... I mean, again, it jumps off the page at me. I'm going to have to give it at least an 8. Creativity. Alright, let's read. Oh, it's Jeer! Jeer! It's the name of the place. There is an explanation, guys. We've figured it out. In this image, WVR 3985, I know it's not that, but I'm going to call it that, is at Greer, preparing to make a pickup there. The freight cars at Wright had been brought up from Staten earlier in the week. At the time, WVR was interchanging in Salem with the Southern Pacific, or with Southern Pacific. The interchange was roughly 6 miles west of this location. Much has changed since then. The line between Greer and Salem was abandoned by SP in 1995. Among other things, the abandonment facilitated a project to widen Interstate 5. Today, SP successor Union Pacific interchanges with the WVR at Woodburn, the Willamette Valley. The first 8 miles of the old SP West Staten branch are the only portion of the line still in operation. Trackage to Staten through Greer is intact but unused. So, we are in Greer. WVR interchanges in Salem with SP, 6 miles west of here. The line between here and there was abandoned in 95. But, okay. No. Yes. I'm confused. I need a map. This isn't helping. Creativity. I mean, I'll be honest, Moki does an SP thing in his neck of the woods, with a Jeep, bloody nose SP Jeep involving the SP, and it doesn't jump out at me as being very poverty as well. Um, there's nothing here about it having a bad time. I think Milky just wanted to make a screenshot. Oh, and inspired by a Greg Brown photo taken on November 5th, 1993. Well, that's cool, I guess. Um, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll give it like a 5. I don't know. It just doesn't jump out at me as doing much interesting with the prompt, um, or really doing, you know, Milk. You're not outside of your comfort zone. You know, this is in your comfort zone, but it is in your comfort zone to your detriment because everything you know about this location and about this railroad, which I'm sure is plenty, doesn't translate to what I'm seeing, which is a shame because I'm sure this railroad went through a hard time or two and might be going through one right here, but I just don't see it. Um, construction. Nice. Change that building. Don't put this front and center. Like, get it out of the way of the camera. It doesn't even look like it lines up with anything. Like, there's not a second crossing board for the second track. Other than that, I mean, you have empty space back over there. Otherwise, the little grass is fine. Everything looks pretty nice. I'm gonna give it like a 7. Composition. Again, it jumps off the page. This is pretty good for composition. I can't say much that I don't like about this composition here. Hold on. Oh, never mind. There aren't more pixels there that I'm already seeing. This is sort of weird, but it's good because it takes up space in the photo. The sky is big. It's nice. The from the ground shot is really nice. I assume this matches up with the photo, which is why it's here. But I didn't get linked to the photo, so alas. But yeah, I mean composition. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I'll give it a confident 8. Like it's quite good. Content. The only thing that's an issue is the way the shadow is. I might want to move the sun around just to not have this side of the locomotive in shadow. And, whatever. It's so minor. Content. Everything here looks nice except for those 2 things, one of which is right in front of my face. But everything else looks so nice that I'm gonna give it a 9. Story. I appreciate it, but the story doesn't help. We're gonna go with a 6 on the story because it was executed very well, but it doesn't help. World. Why is there no second crossing board? Other than that, you can have a 9. Relevancy. I'm sure this railroad went through a hard time, but it's tough for me to believe it. It's just doing a thing. Based on this, it's going to go through a hard time in about 2 years. But nothing about this railroad seems poverty to me. I mean, the patched Jeep is nice. It's a touch. The track looks very good. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it a 4. I'm just not sold. Completeness. Milky, you didn't do the prompt. You didn't name your screenshot. I mean, you did this and this and this and this, which is fine. But you didn't name your screenshot, so you get an 8. Bonus. All the headlights. Yes. Extreme knowledge of the region. I'll give you a bonus point for that, too. Dog and a cat are both asleep. And that's it. 8 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 6 plus 9 plus 4 plus 8 plus 2. 66. You still passed. Still good. It's a nice shot. We haven't got a single bad shot thus far, and I don't expect a bad shot. Because these are all gorgeous. I mean, you guys know how to make a screenshot. Okay, next up. We are... I keep clicking on that. We are less than halfway there. We need to get cracking. I'm talking way too much. We are an hour in and we've made it through 4 submissions. Okay. Oh God, we're alone. You know, the Jeeps do get a little quirky at night. No. Whose screenshot is this going to be? Oh God, we're alone. Eastbound and down. Okay, I have no idea what to expect. Genuinely, no idea what to expect. Let's see. Oh God, we're alone. Hey, it's named properly. Oh, wow. Whoa. Nope, go back. The 1, this is shiny. 2, shiny, colorful, rainbow, uh, the rock. I mean, rock. Whatever these 2 things are. Probably Penn Central, because they're just matte black. Rock. Is that an Alco in the back? In an extremely mixed freight contest, I really appreciate the effort. The whistle post is... Oh, it's not facing the wrong way. There's another crossing down there. Everything in this scene is incredibly detailed. I'm going to try not to let that sway me, because I don't want better version of trains equals... Oh, these are not a smudge on my screen. What is this? What are these? Are these birds? I don't want different version of train to influence me. But wow, does this thing pop. The lighting is outstanding, because it's, you know, whatever. I mean, After Effects in the game are cranked all the way up. Look, there's junk! Yeah, I mean, clearly no expense was spared with this screenshot. High hood on the front, The Rock. Really can't go wrong with The Rock. Okay. Yeah, this is a 9. This is easily a 9. This is easily a 9 for impact. Spared no expense. Okay. Let's look at this. It already sounds good, too. Under a shining, radiant sun, Rock Island Extra 4500 runs one of the last handfuls of freight. Oh, they're Cotton Belt, alongside 2 Cotton Belt SD40T-2s and Route Rock cars from Davenport, Iowa, on this crisp February day. With the Rock having hemorrhaged money for the past years, time closes in on the ailing company. Yeah, I know the Rock is sort of an easy mode poverty road, that's fair. What little could be done could never have helped the massive red line dragging the company towards the history books. Yeah, line go down. Before departing, both the engineer and conductor looked to their engine, the 4500, for what would be the final time of their employment, both men knowing that by March it'll be gone to another railroad or scrapped. The next month will see the last of all train movements barring cleanup trains operated by a skeleton crew to wrap up the final chapter of the Rock's existence. Okay. Okay. Very good. I'm trying to find anything to nitpick out of this paragraph, because there were a couple things that tripped me up, but honestly, nothing that stands out. Let's look at this. Oh, there's a song. Well, I'm not going to listen to that here, but... the title, Oh God, We're Alone, came to me after listening to a song called Oh God, I'm Alone by Nakaza Nobuyoshi. Link here. It's a jazz song that has both a cheery and somber tone with the lyrics that I thought translated somewhat well with the situation of the Rock Island at the start of the 80s. The route I used is a module of a fictional Chicago Great Western main line, but it's proven to fit more than just the CGW. Reference photos also showed trains being formed exclusively of cars destined to storage, sale, or scrap being taken by a variety of engines, but decided to go with an actual freight train instead of that. Rolling stock is comprised of mostly JR cars, with the majority being reskins on NARM done by MBV67. Thank you. The RS3M at the back of the power is on the DLS. Thank you. I knew it. I saw the curved roof, so I went, that's an Alco back there. Okay. Get impressions from the chat. Well, the Rock Online is a mighty good road. Are you on my screenshot yet? I had to walk the dog. No. I'm taking way too damn long. Creativity. Okay, the Rock is an easy poverty road, but to mix up this consist like this definitely counts for something. The writing also counts for something. So I'm gonna say creativity, absolutely no less than an 8. And I think that we have room to grow from there. Construction, no expense was spared. That's a 10. Composition, trying to find something wrong with it. No, that's a 10. It's really good. Content, everything here looks very good. I can see the... Why can I see the light on that signal and not this one? Is this... What's going on here? Is it left side running? Does this probably needs crossing boards. I just realized that. This probably needs crossing boards. Well, maybe not. Well, I don't know. It's a little awkward. I always like to put crossing boards on everything, but, sometimes that's not just how things work in real life. Content. Let's see. Car of Great Western. Which is not the CNNW, which would have left side running, which would explain the weird signals. But... yeah. I mean, I can't find anything wrong with the content. Genuinely, I can't. The fact that it's not on the TLS should be something, but unless some of these things are payware? I mean, some of these things probably are payware. It's JR. But, I don't know. No expense was spared, am I right? Let's see. I have another ping somewhere. Let me just double check where the ping is. Is it in streaming and recording? In which case I can... No. It's in memes. Why am I being pinged in memes while I'm doing this? It's Pat. Blame Pat. Yell at Pat. Ooh, almost dropped my phone on the ground. Well, you know what? I have to give it a 10. Story. Pretty solid. This last sentence is making it hard to breathe. World. Yeah, I mean the world is pretty solid. There's nothing here that sticks out at me as being wrong, and I know so much of this is just like it's so pretty because it's so pretty because it's a modern version of trains, but there is still a lot that went into this world. I mean, the crossing post, the whistle post, the junk, the barbed wire fence. The only thing that would make it better is like a car, you know. And the fact that you get the factory smokestacks in the distance, it says a lot. It says a lot. Now, this might end up being the winner because I keep giving it 10s. I don't know, man. It's very good. I'm trying to find a reason not to give it a 10. I'm trying. I'm trying to find a reason not to give it a 10. I can't even... I would be inventing something. Relevancy. Poverty Road. It's the Rock. Of course it is. This is going to win. This is going to get incredible points. Sorry. Relevancy. That's there. That's there. That's there. That's there. Yeah, okay. 10. Bonus. for the mix of equipment, it's just incredible, and the mix up of the train is also incredible. Um, the module of the fictional Chicago Great Western Main Line doesn't say if he built it or not. Yeah, that's kind of an issue. I don't want to assume something one way or another, but I don't know. I'll just leave it at that then for bonus. It's going to be a very high score though. 9 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 2. 88. Very good score. Very pretty screenshot. This is desktop background material for sure. I like it a lot. Okay. Yeah, the one thing I was thinking of was the condition of the track, and I wonder, you know? I wonder how you could have properly... I keep going to the Locodome submission. Forgotten hoppers, huh? Okay, let's see. Yeah, the track work was too nice. That's the one thing I could have taken points off for. I thought about it, but the screenshot was just too nice. Oh. Here's Bryson. Okay, let's look at this. What is it called? Oh. File was not renamed. I'm going to look at it for the first time. Because I was wrong thing. I just want to hide the bottom bar. A little looming out of the fog. I like that. Second foggy one. This is only the second foggy one. That's what's blowing my mind, is this is only the second foggy one. I feel like we'd have had way more of these. I like it. It doesn't have a gut punch, but it does definitely loom out of the fog a little bit. And with the title Forgotten Hoppers, it adds a lot to it. Alright, copy. Let's drop this in. The Forgotten Hoppers. Impact. Yeah, it's between a 6 and a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. Especially since I've been so generous lately. Creativity. Let's look at this. It's a shorty, which is not bad, necessarily. The year is 1980, and a small-town coal railroad in southeast Missouri has slowed traffic-wise. The tracks are almost abandoned, but trains do come through every other month. These hoppers, however, were left here a year ago. They were supposed to be scrapped, but no one has accepted the job. Okay, a little clunky, but not bad. I was the only one who worked on this. Okay, well, that's good to know. If I remember right, you asked me what goes in the production notes, and I hope you have learned what goes in the production notes now. I don't ever really dock anybody for, putting stuff in or not putting stuff into the production notes. It just can inform your score. I could imagine there are certain things that people would leave out because I would not award points for. So, creativity. Small town coal road in southeastern Missouri. That strikes me as something quite familiar to the poster. And Cars on a Deadline is definitely something we haven't seen, and I don't think we will see again. So it's deserving. I wonder why that van is there. That's a different problem. So creativity, I mean, honestly, I'll give it an 8. I think it's a really solidly creative piece there. Construction. I don't really have anything bad to say about the construction except why is the van there. So I'll give it a 9. Honestly, the abandoned possibly depot building here. The grass and shrubberies and the electrical box. Always throwing down an electrical box. That's always a winner for me. The mixing of the textures. They're not very high quality textures, but still, you do what you can with what you have. Um, and I can see another building in the background there. Not that it really matters, but yeah, yeah, solid work. Um, I just keep checking for audience reaction. Um, you guys are really trying to find nines for the last one, huh? Okay, composition. Composition is a very nicely shot thing. I don't really have a place to complain about it. Um, there's a lot of empty space, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Um, I don't know. It's a tough one for me because I feel like after the last one, I can't give low scores. I just can't. Um, yeah, composition. I mean, I'll give it a solid 8 at least. There's really not much bad I can say about this. Again, lots of empty space, but that isn't a bad thing. I'll give it a 9. Content. The hoppers are really nice. Everything here is pretty nice. I don't have anything to complain about, really. Um, the textures maybe are the only place where this thing falls a little bit. So I'll give it a 9. Story. Short. Little clumsy. We give it a 6. World. Why is that van there? Um, why is there no fence? The problem is it's a perfectly serviceable van. If it was like a car with 4 flat tires sitting on blocks or something, that would enhance the era. But for now, it's just a van. Um, relevancy. Yeah, I mean, I buy it. Completeness. That's in. That's in. This is not named properly. That's fine. So we'll do an 8. Bonus points. Only the second spooky screenshot. Also, cars on a deadline. Like cars specifically, not locomotives. That's very clever. Because people tend to go with locomotives. Those are coal hoppers, yeah. For some reason, I had a brief moment of, are those covered hoppers? Which would have thrown my whole thing into disarray. 77. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, thank you for your submission. I'm trying to get through these kind of quickly now. I'm trying my best. The van is killing me, yeah. Um, again, I don't know. It's a strange pick for a vehicle. I know you wanted to fill that space with something, and I don't blame you at all. But the van seems like a weird choice. It doesn't enhance your screenshot, really. It's just kind of there. What the heck? Oh, no. Erie Lackawaki. I am afraid. Whose screenshot is this? It's either... Oh, I'm gonna do it again. I have a guess. I have a guess up here. Yeah, of course. And there's paragraphs. Oh, boy. Let's go look at the screenshot first. Erie Lackawaki. What is going on here? Where Potlatcher? Now this is what was missing from the other screenshot that I should have. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back. Hold on. I can't not because now we have something to compare it against. And I know I said about comparison, but I can't not do it. We're taking off a point for world, and we're taking off a point for construction because the track isn't bad enough on this screenshot. Track way too good. Way too good. This is what you should be striving for on your poverty roads. Uh, this is the WINM logo on the thing. That's big yes from me. Okay. Also, the cars on the street. There's a lot of detail here. This is a good shot. The dudes with the open box car and the ladder. And you know what's better is these people all look equally bad. This dude should be T-posing. If he was T-posing, that'd be a bonus point. Um, what do I give this? Do I give this an 8 or a 9? I think I give it a 9. I think I have to give it a 9 for impact, because it makes me so excited. The only thing it doesn't do is there's nothing like compositionally that pops, right? The locomotives are black. Uh, it's a very, very detailed photograph, but the first thing you see is this and this because it's lit up. What's going on? Oh, this dude's shoveling gravel. I saw this guy. I thought this guy was dead. I thought there were two people standing next to a dead body. Um, okay. We always save the best for towards the end. I can't wait to get a Ryan screenshot. It's always a trip. Um, whose house is this? Who's living here? I hope that's not somebody's house. They only own a tractor. Seed house. It's confusion about what era it is. Interesting. Very interesting. What is this? Mail thing? Um, okay, let's bring in the lack of money screenshot. Here in Milwaukee. At first, I thought this was going to be a DNH in the EL and then Milwaukee Road timeline, but that's something that we could think about for the creation of the WINM. We might need to do some rewriting now that we know about the DNH thing. But anyway, uh, the shot is from top of the building. Well, you didn't mention it, so I'm gonna have to not include that. Oh my god. Oh my god, so much text. Let's hope it's well paced and I like it. Oh, for sake. Line, Cruz, where's Cruz? Cruz. And then line. Why does it not say, why does it not paste with the abandoned, which is here. I'm not enjoying this. There we go. There it is. Okay. Western Idaho and Maryland, Grand Meadow, Minnesota, 1976. The Western Idaho and Maryland by this time had grown incredibly weary. Since the merger in 1963, it had shed routes totaling 43 between 1970 and the end of 1976 alone. Putting it into perspective, the company was abandoning about 6 lines per year. Although the company itself was relatively successful, even merging with the GM&O in 1971. When did that happen? It succumbed to near bankruptcy, like so many others, just a year later. First was Hurricane Agnes in 1972 that destroyed large portions of its eastern main lines in Pennsylvania and New York. The hurricane created a burning hole in their pockets, worsened further by the oil crisis of 73 and the stock market crash of 74. To save money, everything was as bare bone as possible, bare bones, extending all the way down to the drinks and food for crews. Here in southeastern Minnesota, this track is mostly 60-pound rail and the bridges are very old, requiring less than ideal motive power. In this case, the venerable EMD SW1 in a 4-unit consist is taking a leisurely stroll through town with a train of loads and empties. Boxcars of assorted goods or grain products, tank cars of various chemicals, and covered and uncovered hoppers. I know what goes into a train. Although highly outdated and low on power, producing only 600 from a baseline 6-cylinder EMD 567, they weighed around 198,000 pounds each, meaning they were light enough for the many bridges on the line. I feel like you need in your writing, something that I'm noticing is you need to trust your audience a little bit more, I think, because you already mentioned that the bridges are old, and then you mentioned it again, down here. I feel like there's a more succinct way to say that. Despite everything, the hurricane damage, the ongoing fuel crisis, the stock market crash, the acquirement, I believe you are looking for acquisition, no? Of the Penn Central Condition PCC and STL in 1976, half of the shares of the TP&W, and nearly inclusion in Conrail in the same year. By 1977, the WIM was starting to see improvements. Okay, I feel like you could cut this down because you already mentioned all of that. Again, you could say this more succinctly because this is a long sentence. Uh, it had bought its first motive power since 1973 that wasn't rebuilt. You don't need a comment after 73 probably, and had a management shakeup. The PCC and STL brought the railroad to new markets in mid-America, and the merger with the GM&O, although celebrated for only a short time, proved to be a wise choice as traffic flowing to the Gulf Coast largely reflowed to the company. Oh, this is like the good timeline WIM, isn't it? Like the weird, the non barely transcon. This is like your version of it, isn't it? Um, Whatever. We should talk before I go and write the potlatcher, which may be someday in the distant future. Um, Selling TPW stock to Santa Fe also provided a great cash influx for the company. For all this, though, conditions at many of these branches did not improve. Conditions at or of. Pressure to consolidate grain loading points, losses stemming from no rail, tunnel, nor bridge improvements, leading to the inability to run heavier cars, and the Staggers Rail Act of 1980 led to many more of these branches being abandoned. There is no happy ending. The WINM would abandon another 20 branches across its network by December of 1979. This section of line, laid originally in 1872, closed by fall of 1979. Just one of 10 that year. Yeah, it's succinctness. That's the only issue. But I definitely have to give you creative points because of the creation of the WINM off of a dumb joke and how far it's come. It's just incredible to see the lore of this thing unfold, and honestly, even if I don't end up sitting down and writing the potlatcher before I'm old and gray, man, do I need to get my head around the vision that you have for it because it's just so cool. Um, and guess who just wandered in the room? Hi, Lafayette. Guess who's getting a bonus point? Bender gets the pupper point. Okay, creativity. Honestly, how could I not give it a 10? How could I not? Look at everything in here. The construction, also outstanding. Like, this is a real 10 of construction. This is very, very solid. Maybe the one thing you're missing is sidewalks in front of the buildings. And I know maybe some of these places wouldn't have that, but if you're shooting from the top of a multi-story building, you probably have some sidewalks. So I'm going to give a 9 for that. Uh, Composition. Let's see. There are plenty of good sidewalk assets, ones that are ratty and stuff like that. Composition. Again, not bad. Lafayette. Oh my god, this is Squeaky stuck under the TV stand and he's just like sticking his head under there. Composition. This shot's very good. There's a lot of stuff in it. This is a little weird, but I understand why that was necessary. And it helps frame the shot and explain, like, yes, there is building here. There's a little bit of empty space in the back here. Like, the fact that I can see this far back is a little weird, and there's just, like, nothing going on. No cars on the road, no cars in parking lots, no junk. You junked up this whole area. Um, Honestly, it's like above Tolbrin level of detail ish. So I shouldn't be able to complain. I shouldn't be legally allowed to. Um, but yeah, okay. Let's see composition. Um, the only thing is like this guy has a quest to give us. Look at him. He's the only person here, except for those guys over there. They don't count. That's being hit by direct sunlight. This guy you have to walk up. He's the next main quest, like point. Um, so composition, I'm gonna give it a 9. Content. Everything here is pretty good. I've seen this truck 11 million times. Um, I know some of this was homemade content. Oh, I didn't look at the production notes. Oh my god, the production notes. Okay. Um, okay. Scene. Can I like tell it to paste without formatting? What? uh, the route is Fillmore County, hosted on the Switchback. As far as I can tell, it's freelance, but it's based on Milwaukee branches in Fillmore County, Minnesota. So I did not build this route, and kudos should go to them. However, I did place down several assets, such as cars and people, to spice up the scene. Okay. With the exception of the caboose and the SW1s, just about everything here is available on the DLS. What isn't available there is unjointed rail. I created what I would term the first official WI&M reskins for individual SW1s with different quirks. I think they're serviceable, but not in final form. The yellow scene on the unit should be the same color as the boxcar numbers. Should be the same color as the numbers, but I don't know how to make it bright and retain detail yet. Okay. Such is life. I also patched the first boxcar in the consist and had to fumble about with several boxers until I found one that would take the Western Maryland skins. There was no issue with the texture files or anything, but more so some strange errors with the boxcar. Details of the scene. Kid and somebody preparing to set up the grain doors on the boxcar and the dumb posters on the depot. One is a guy with mug. One is guy with mug. We all know him. Oh, okay, that. And the other is a neat 40s 50s Milwaukee advertisement I found online. Oh, wow. And turned into a poster for the scene. Also, there's a tow truck and a car, which I tried to make a little believable. Where's the tow truck? Where's the... Where? Is the car... Oh. Car is back there. Scene is loosely based on this photo. You know what? Let me just hit Control K, and it should turn into a photo. Or into a link. Oh, that's neat. Okay. I love the bell on the nose. So silly. No way of verifying this is what Grand Meadow looked like, but I thought it'd be neat place somewhere believable. Okay. Content. I mean, reskin content, everything's on the DLS or freeware on JR. That's fine. That's a 10. And also making the posters, I don't know how this cannot be a 10. Story. A little clumsy, but otherwise good. I'm going to give it an 8. World. No sidewalks. At all. Like, I understand pedestrian unfriendly infrastructure, but none at all. Not even in front of the station. Not even like a busted up platform here, like a gravel platform that, well, I mean, that's fine. It would have been gone. I assume there's no passenger service here. That's for damn sure. I'm not getting it out for you right now. I'll do it later. Let's see. That looks like a stop sign, but it's yellow. Another yellow stop sign. Fine. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is the main road because this doesn't have stop signs. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, just incredible detail. Incredible detail. I'm gonna, you know, give it. I mean, do I give it a 10 or do I give it a 10? I give it a 9. Give it a 9. I mean, it's very close. It's very good. Relevancy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You've sold me. Completeness. I mean, if you manage to screw up this, despite writing, the rules to Battle for North Africa or whatever it's called in the prompt, I would have been very upset with you. So yeah, making your own assets, WI and M, those are both absolutely style points on their own. I can't give you the point for chop from the top of the building because you told me that in the comments, and that doesn't count. The dudes in the boxcar, I think, are their own point. That's really cool. I love that. And on top of that, just the consistent level of detail. Nothing seems out of place with how good or bad it looks. That's really something when it comes to the amount of work, like the amount of stuff I can see in this screenshot. Especially the people. Alright, let's tally that up. That's a lot of bonus points. 9 plus 10 plus 9 plus 9 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. That's an 89. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. I think we only have like 2 left. Yeah, we have 2 left. I'm getting lightheaded. I've been talking too much. My throat hurts. What's next? Late evening at mid-range. This doesn't strike me as a Ryan Loebner screenshot title, so I don't need to be scared yet. Late evening at mid-range by Mopac82. Mopac, it's finally you're finally up. Late evening at mid-range. Hey, it's named properly. It's the wow, it's green. Wow, that's oh my god. All I can see is 1,000 ticks. But this is gorgeous. Oh, and I think I know what this is too. Oh, okay, I know where we're at. I think. The overlaying hills in the background, stellar. This is an old boxcar. Oh no, it's a stock car. I mean, it's an old one, but I don't know if there are any new stock cars. Look at that guy. Reminds me of the arcade in Attica. I know that boxcar. That's a hill. I know that caboose. Mid-ridge. Oh, mid-ridge. I read mid-range. My bad. What's in here? Like wood chips? Iron ore? This is very pretty. This is very much train wading through the grass. The low angle of the camera to really sell me on the fact that this is uncared for is pretty good. I like that. It's almost got like this dreamy sort of feel. Also, I think that's the QLD Sky. I love that one. It's like my favorite one in trains. But if you close your eyes... Alright, let's drop this into the thing. Mid-ridge. Impact. It's a solid 8. Creativity. Alright, let's look at this. Ooh, there's a good long story here too. The low rumble of a Cummins diesel engine fills the air as the Missouri Southern Railway's 70-ton Plymouth pulls into mid-ridge. The Great Depression has hit the MS hard, and no part of the system shows this more than the Current River branch. What was once a symbol of prosperity quickly became the backwater spur of a backwater railway. Spanning 20 miles from Hobart Switch to the small community of Brushy, the line encounters 6% grades and 16-degree curves along its route. The idea of maintaining the line was given up on years ago in order to cut cost. I think you mean the idea of maintaining the line and cut costs. With little business along the line, service given is on an as-need basis. With little business along the line, service given is on an as-need basis. That's okay, it works. Usually, about once a month, there are enough carloads waiting to warrant a trip down the branch. However, on this day, all the businesses along the line have produced their required amount of carloads to get service. While this was a welcome surprise for management, it has been a headache for veteran engineer George Mullican. His trip down the line started at 8 in the morning and has been filled with minor derailments and moving his train in pieces. It is now 7 in the evening. George is making his third trip to Midridge from the bottom of the hill. After bringing up After bringing the 2 heavy carloads of iron ore individually, he is now able to bring the rest of his train up the hill. It will more than likely be well after 10 o'clock before Mr. Mulligan is finished, as he still has to spot the boxcar loaded down with ties and take his train up another 8 miles of 6% grade. Wow. Now, that's cool. This is very creative. It's weird because this engineer is having a bad time, but the railroad is getting like a record number of carloads in a day. So it makes me question the prompt relevance. Unfortunately, it shouldn't, but it does. I know, and you're probably saying no, it's completely relevant. It makes total sense, and I agree, it does. But the way this thing is phrased, it's like, yes, this guy is being annoyed, but management is happy, so that's not great. That doesn't line up perfectly. But creativity, I mean, I gotta give it to you. The little shunter I mean, we have a second shunter doing a mainline duty effectively, or a road duty, I should say. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll give it an A for creativity. It's fine, it's something. Construction. This is a pretty area. I mean, I have some questions when it comes to world, but construction wise, everything seems pretty internally consistent. Um, we don't have any like shrubs and stuff over in the woods, which probably, well, I mean, I guess you do when you get back here. Yeah, this is a very pretty, very well constructed area, certainly. I'm trying to think of anything I should dock for, but this is set up very well. Oh, and that, okay, yeah, okay, that's a 10. Come on, the crooked thing, that's a 10. Um, composition. I wish the train was closer to the frame. Right now, it's kind of far away. And I know that's intentional, but I'm just not sure if it sells because your focal points are these guys, and your eye sort of goes like this, and then to the train, which isn't bad, and then it goes down along the train. I don't think there's really anything wrong with this, necessarily, but I don't love the way that the train is framed way in the background with all of these train things in the foreground. Um, and while the story tells me that this is the end of tripling a hill, which is obviously a pain in the neck. Well, the story tells me this is tripling a hill. The picture is showing me success. Who pinged me? Stop pinging me. Oh, my gridlocked? I'm probably gridlocked. What the hell is this? Um... Focus on this. It's showing me success. You know? It's a weird one. Composition, I think I'm going to give it an 8. Content. Are there production notes? No. Module built in 2 evenings, writing is hard. I think you did a pretty good job with the writing. Module built in 2 evenings. I mean, you built this yourself. That's cool. Content. Well, the stock car is a little rough. Other than that, a lot of this looks fine. I like hiding the track condition with this much grass. I'll give it a 9. 9 for content. Story. Again, I think the story's fine. It's, pretty good. There's a couple of little fumbles in here, but that's not that big of a deal. it's written very well, or you know, it's written reasonably well. It gets the point across reasonably well, is what I'm trying to say. It's telling me things effectively. It isn't telling me the right things necessarily, but also another 8 miles of 6% grade. If that's the ruling grade, so he's going to have to triple it again. That's rough. Um, but also, this doesn't feel like 7 in the evening, so I'm just going to give it a 7. Um, World. Why? What is this place? Mid ridge. I mean, it's clearly the top of a grade. What is this? Is this stock car for the section house? Is this a section house? I don't know. I'm just confused. There doesn't seem to be like anything here. Oh well, I mean there is a road. We know that much. So that's something. We'll give it an 8. I don't know. Um, you know what? No, I'm gonna knock that down for a 7. I don't know about a line being served monthly when it has multiple customers. I feel like the customers would get mighty annoyed and just switch to something else. Um, Relevancy. This is clearly a road that is struggling because it has a little engine and big grades. But it's not struggling today. Just this engine is struggling today. I'm going to have to give you an 8 for relevancy. For completeness, though, I think you get a 10. Yes, you do. Bonus points. I like it. I like the story. I like the incredible amounts of grass. I love the layering of the hills in the background. That's another bonus point. And, yeah, I mean, assets that just I recognize, I'll give you a bonus point for that. That's a lot of bonus points. 8 plus 8 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 4. 79. That seems high. I've gotten more and more lenient as this has gone on. The one with the rock has like broken me, like the gates wide open. Okay, last one. Last one, and this is going to be Ryan, so I'm ready to lose it. I don't even know what it's called yet. I'm afraid to look. Blunt Rider of Death. Oh no. What is this? Blunt Rider of Death. I'm glad this wasn't spoiled to me yet. What? Where are we? Why are we inside one of Warhawk's drawings? Not that that's a bad thing. Oh, hey, look, it's Blount. Why does it say Lackawanna? Wait a minute. What's going on here? What are you? That's very pretty. We have Kodachrome, IC, Penn Central, The Rock, Pooch. Is this Pooch? Milwaukee Road. And also that thing right there. We have these 4. There's no track. Ryan, what have you done with the track? Why is this thing here? What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? This is, of course, this is what I've been saving my 10 for. This is, hold on. Nope, wrong thing. Yeah, Impact, Empire Builder 999. Yes, clearly. What am I supposed to do with this? This is what I've been saving my 10 for. Scoring. Impact, 10. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Creativity. What the hell is going on here? Paste without formatting, so it pastes with the formatting. Well, you keep trying to go back. The S1B surveyed his pickings. He knew he'd made the right choice. He always did. He knew exactly how these railroads ticked and, once the ticking concludes, explodes. Did they say exploded? Specifically, he eyed the Rock Island GP38-2 on the far right. He'd suffer a slow, agonizing death on the Union Pacific. Now he wouldn't. Now he would be safely swaddled in his blue suit, the bankruptcy being shaken from his hue. Almost in an unhinged manner, the faux Lackawanna Mikado, F-A-U-X, faux Lackawanna Mikado paused, the train's train of thought screeching to a stop momentarily. Bankrupt, poverty, decrepit, has-been, stillborn, he intended to save his ensemble cast from a life of hardship, yet some are intrinsically linked to such ideals. His wanderings turned to Penn Central GP38-2 and Amtrak STP-40F, not a pooch, sorry. Maybe even the Milwaukee Road FP-45, too. He wanted to divert them from such outrageous fortune, like pulling the Titanic too many miles south, to remove even the remote possibility that the slightest disaster could occur. His reverence turned to the Central Railroad of New Jersey GP7. Now that's a railroad that would have done nicely with some southerly trackage. Missed connections and hubris. That was a tale befallen upon the railroad of Lady Liberty, as well as for the Southern Pacific and the Atchins, Topeka, and Santa Fe. The Muppets, coloring their aesthetic before Uncle Sam could give his blessing on their marriage. He concluded that maybe the inverse also requires some intervention. Instead of a calculated catch from freezing, a systematic snatch from sizzling. That's his theory for the Southern Pacific Tunnel motor. He didn't think while in the act. He thinks first and synthesizes a story afterward. And then there's just plain bad luck. A theme ague, what does that mean? To the Illinois Central Gulf GP38-2. It was no strange coincidence that the Blount Rider of Death sought out that type of locomotive as well as the Cowls. Impressionable new turbochargers that aren't fully caught up to the larger story pitched out by heavy hands, incomprehensible to those just arriving. What does any of this mean? I feel like I've just watched Asteroid City again, except without all the reading I did about Asteroid City after I watched it the first time. I don't know what this is. Thanks, me neither. Very helpful. Why are these always last? Because they can't be followed. I don't know what this is. There's only 4 people here to watch my meltdown. This is basically the idea of the Lackawanna 1271 acting like a Holden Caulfield wannabe who and saving innocent locomotives from day in and day out dread. I created the base synthwave texture as well as the sun, along with the reskin of 3254 and the Alco S2 with the NKP caboose. Everything except for the Milwaukee Road FP45 is available, no private content was used, and everything is replicable. I had a much different plan for this screenshot, but ultimately my attention span and other factors didn't allow me to follow through with it. 1271 is acting as a sort of guardian angel, is a reference to my experiences in my high school's production of Urinetown, as well as a piece of train core that I created that I will no doubt post again today in the chat, formerly known as They Were Green. I gotta fix that. Please enjoy whatever the heck the surrealist Catcher in the Rye extravaganza is. I am so exhausted and cannot follow through with even the most basic ideas I have no idea who I am anymore. There is copper wiring under your skin. Ryan, how am I supposed to grade this? 10 for creativity. Construction. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because the desolation is intentional, but what am I supposed to do with that? How am I supposed to grade that? It's just put something out there. Something. I don't know. Why is this here? I'm giving it a 7 because I don't know what's going on. Composition. What's with the second line of cars? You know what's crazy about this? You know what's crazy about this? The issue with the composition is that it's too normal. The issue with the angle of the photo, the issue with the way the background is set up, you get the foreground, the middle ground, the background, your subject is right in the middle. The issue is that it's too normal. Why is this the one normal thing about this screenshot? I don't know what to do with this. Composition. I don't know. A 7? An 8? An 8. Sure, why not? Content. Brian made his own content. Lots of weird stuff. Nothing about this makes sense because nothing about it has to make sense. Um, 9. Story. I don't understand what I read. And I never will. I will never understand what I've just read. I mean, there's some fumbles here and there as well. I'm giving it a 7. Despite the fact that I want to give everything a 12. That's what this has done to me. I just... World. What am I supposed to do with this? World. I don't see a way to get onto the turntable. There are no signals for the other approach to the diamond. Also, the ground is blue and there are no tracks and the sun has lines through it and the sky is purple. But let's not worry about that. And that Sinclair tanker is staring at me for some reason. There are copper wires under my skin. World. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What is this? Why is the Christmas tree thing here? The geode, the thing that plays music. Why did I always think it was a Christmas tree growing up? 7. I don't understand the rules of this world. Relevancy. There are a bunch of railroads going through a bad time. I am now going through a time. I wouldn't call it bad. I would just call it like I'm on acid. I think Blount's having a great time. I feel like Blount's having a great time. You know? I don't feel like he's having a bad time at all. I feel like his 80s synthwave railroad is doing just great. It's doing just fine. Because I assume in this realm he is God, and he can conjure up tracks and turntables and planetariums out of nothing. You know, I assume everything in this domain is like he raised the mountains in the background. Like that's what he does. Like I don't feel like he's having a bad time because he's literally God here. I will take no other explanations. Lafayette is leaving because I keep yelling. I don't I don't know what to I don't I don't I don't know what to say. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Uh um Relevancy. 7. I keep giving you a 7 because it's my default. I don't know what to do. Completeness. Oh, well, I mean, you did that right. That's right, that's right, that's right. Yeah, that's time for completeness. Bonus. 37. You reskinned the ground and the sun. You've created a surrealist landscape in which Blount is God. You brought the planetarium in and made it seem like it belongs here. Also, position light signals are a plus. Uh, and the best scheme ever put on a diesel locomotive. You guys know which one I'm talking about. Blount. That's another point. What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? I'm just gonna tally up the points and call it a day. 10 plus 10 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 10 plus 6. 81. 81. And the winner is, with 89 points, the Milwaukee Road. Hey, Lafayette. Oh, wait. Ryan gets another point because Lafayette came in here. Thank you guys for submitting your screenshots to this round of screenshots. Because I think I'm gonna need a cooldown before we do this again. Let's see. First place was Bender with 89. And the Milwaukee Road. Second place, I think, is this one with 86. And then third place is, that's 79. This is 82. I think those are the only 80s. I mean, again, the dam burst with scoring after that one. Oh, 85. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, this one got second place. No, or third. This one got second or third. Got third. Whatever, you guys know what scores you got. I really appreciate all the submissions to the simulated photograph competition. I love all the work that went into them. They're all gorgeous. Let's go through them again, because they definitely all deserve more attention. I love doing these. I wish it wasn't so time-consuming. I mean, obviously, we can do them a different way, but this is just the way that I do things, I guess. And it was like a year since the last time we did it, so sorry about that. But yeah, buy trading cards, number one. And if you have bought trading cards, tell your friends to buy trading cards. Go to other Train Discord servers and tell them to buy trading cards. And also sign up for Locodome. Right, Locodome. That's a thing I need to do. I need to post that in the in announcements that we're getting Locodome. That's what I was doing before we started here. My brain is effing fried. This one, the Milwaukee Road. This thing, which I'm not going to look at anymore. This is probably my favorite screenshot. Grass. Rock. Very colorful. I love this one to death. Why is the bridge still standing? Doesn't matter. Camelback died. Good. Child. Demon. Beautiful. Spooky. Hoppers. Deltic. Love it. Depression. And that's actually the last one because it was in... that's the order they were in. I thought I would wrap back around to the beginning. Whatever. Thank you for, once again, yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for your submissions. I appreciate every single one of them. I appreciate all of you. You guys make this community happen. You make the world go around. And I will see you tomorrow for Under Construction, right? Yes, I'll see you tomorrow for Under Construction, but I won't be there on Friday for the playdate. Either way, it looks like it's going to be Merger Mania or something. So enjoy that. And if you want to join our Discord, there's a link in the bottom. I know if somebody has made it through 2 hours of screenshot judging and they haven't noticed that, like a random person that stumbles upon this video, I doubt that's going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen. Buy trading cards. I need to ship Milkies out. Oh, winner, Bender, you already got an entry into, you already